Hello everyone, this is me again, Kevin White, Kev's Trucking, and today I want to talk about over the road. I'm going to make a 3-part video of my journey so far, over 30 days. I'm going into my 60th day, but I want to make a 3-part video. I'm going to cover over the road, how I feel about over the road, how I feel about Amazon Relay, and how I feel about Mothership. So today I'm going to be talking about over the road. I'm talking about the good on the over the road right now. And if you like the content, you can click subscribe or hit the like button. Number one, over the road, there's money can be made. The money, if you bid right, you can make a lot of money over the road. Me personally, I like to run the Southeast. I don't want to go like long distance, over 500 miles. But it's up to you what you want to do. You can make good money either way, if you bid right. If you know how to bid on your load. More on that later. Most of it is non-touch. Most of it, you ain't got to touch it, which is a good thing, you know. You don't have to do no physical work, which that could be a good thing or a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Because if you just sitting in the truck, not doing any exercise or anything, you can get kind of big, you know, just sitting there all the time. But most of it is non-touch. You ain't got to do no manual labor or anything. And you can find work if you're new. If you're a new authority, you can find work. People like TQL, Landstar, C.H. Robinson. There's a lot of people that work with new authorities. There's also companies that your factoring company won't work with, which I'm gonna get into that when I start talking about the bad stuff, about the expenses. But there's a lot of companies that factoring companies won't work with when you look on the load board. But a lot of them offer quick pay, and I've taken about 4 or 5 loads for quick pay because they all operate with this company called Riggs, RIGZ. A lot of people ain't covering that on these YouTube videos, but I have taken a chance and I've done it, and they paid me. So, of course, with a fee, just like the factoring companies. But there are companies out there that will work with you right off the bat, and they offer you quick pay. People like True Freight, Hurricane, Sun City Solutions. I've taken load for all of them, and I got quick paid. So these are people that'll work with you right off the bat. Now, some of the bad. Listen to me closely, hear me clearly. The YouTubers are telling you they made $5,000 on a load, $10,000 on a load, $10,000 a week, all this, etc., etc. They may have made that on the load. Don't get me wrong now. They may have made that on a load. But did they put that in their pocket? You got to know your cost per mile, which means you got to know your expenses. You got to know your expenses. You have to average up what you're going to spend in a month, expenses, against how many miles you're going to drive. And that'll give you your cost per mile. That's a mileage rate of how much you're going to take or bid on a load for. That's why I said you can make money if you bid it right. You're not in this business just to break even, because what's the point of you having the business? You're in this business to make a profit. Let me give you an example. If your cost per mile, if you add it all up, and it's like $1.40, you have to bid more than $1.40 to make a profit. Your run has to be more than $1.40. And see, a lot of these YouTubers are not telling you some of these things, you know, and they're telling you, okay, I made $5,000 this week. Okay. But what they didn't tell you is how much they spend in fuel. Come on now, if you made $5,000 a week, you've been running. You know how high it is for diesel these days? How much of money you spend on fuel? Did you have to stay in a hotel? A lot of people, and I'm not knocking nobody, a lot of people sleeping in their trucks so they won't have to pay hotel fees. Me, I'm not sleeping in no truck. I'm getting a hotel. That's the expense. Your insurance. Need I say any more? Insurance is probably one of the highest things, other than a truck note, that you're going to have to pay. You have to have insurance for your authority to even go active. Now, for the people that own their truck outright, they ain't got to worry about a truck payment or whatever. But that's also expense. If you're renting or if you're buying, leasing a truck, that's another expense. Your ELD, you have to pay for that. You got to be logged, especially if you're trying to go across the country. You got to pay for that. You getting food, you got to pay for that. I mean, you got to know your expenses. They'll tell you they made $5,000, but they might have spent half of that on their expenses. They might only put $2,000, $3,000 in their pocket. So you got to know your expenses. Another bad thing is, over the road, other people will be loading you. Now, like I said, it's a good thing that you don't have to load it yourself, but it also could be a bad thing that you're not loading it yourself. Let me give you an example. I went to a facility and someone else loaded me. I had to sit in the truck. I couldn't go inside. And the guy ran over my load bar, broke them. And if I hadn't checked, he'd have got away with it. But since I checked, he wound up handing me another load bar that they had sitting there. You know, and I had another situation where I went there and they was loading me, and the guy was trying to put all the weight on one side and had my truck like leaning, and I heard something popping. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, no. You bring it to the door and I'll pallet jacket there. I'll pallet jacket where you got to go. So you got to be careful with these guys loading you, because they can break something in your truck. These box trucks are not semis, okay? You got to be careful with these people loading you. New authorities, yes, you can find work. I told you can find work, but you're new, and these brokers know you're new. When you give them your MC, they know how long you've been in business. They will try to take advantage of you. They will try to give you the cheapest freight. TQL, like I said, they'll work with you right off the bat, but they only want to give you cheap freight, real cheap. So you got to know your numbers. You got to know your costs. You got to know exactly how much you want to, how much you want to take your load for to make a profit. I forgot about the load board. You got to pay for that too. So that's part of your expense too. How else you going to book a load? Now, if you got a dispatcher, you got to pay them too. And you got to pay your factoring company. All those are expenses. So you got to know how much you want to make per load. So you got to do your homework. You got to know your numbers before you even start this. Also, you got to know your lane. You got to know where you're gonna run. It's a lot of places. Before you get in this box truck business, you need to see how many loads you can get whatever area you in. Okay? I live in Brunswick, Georgia, so I'm an hour away from Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm an hour away from Savannah, Georgia. It's a lot of work coming out both of those places. So that's where I have to get my load from, mostly from Savannah or Jacksonville. It's a lot of places you might have to deadhead a lot just to find a load. So you need to find out those things. And what I mean by deadhead, if you don't know what deadhead means, that means you're driving somewhere to pick up a load or you're leaving from a load. You don't get paid for that. You burning diesel, deadheading to go get a load. So you got to know your lanes. So what I would suggest is, there's a DAT load board gets you a free month. 123 load board is free. Dolph is free. Check those out first to see if you got loads in your lanes before you jump into this business. And again, expect a lot of people, a lot of brokers to hang up on you when you first start, because you're not new enough. You're not old enough. You're a new authority. Like I said, TQL work with you right off the bat. Landstar, CH Robinson. Some of those companies I said they got offer quick pay. Coyote is 30 days. XPO is 90 days. So JB Hunt is 90 days. So You had to find it, and you got to learn. You got also. I'm gonna tell you something else. You got to learn. Learn how to fill out a carrier packet. Have your stuff set up on your laptop or on your phone. So if you're trying to book a load yourself, if you're trying to dispatch yourself, you got to know how to fill out a carrier packet. Because if you look on the load board, okay, let's see. Oh, I see this load. See TQL. Okay. And you call them. And y'all say, okay, I'll take it for 500. Okay, they agree to the 500. Oh, and then they'll say, what's your MC? You give them your MC. They'll say, oh, I see you're not set up with us. I'm gonna have to send you a carrier packet. So the carrier packet is your MC authority letter, your W-9, your COI, your insurance, and some information about your company. You got to have all that stuff situated already on your laptop. I've lost a load before because I couldn't get my MC letter to them fast enough. I couldn't get my COI to them fast enough because a lot of them want you to change the policy holder name to them, certificate holder name to the company, and I couldn't get it to them fast enough to get it changed fast enough, so they had to engage the load to someone else. So you got to know how to do that. If you're gonna dispatch yourself, you got to know how to do that off the bat. Now, if you got a dispatcher, that's their job to do that because you give them all that information right off the bat. So when they book your load, they already have the information and fill out the carrier package for you. Or some of them just charge you. Like I had a dispatcher, they'd $25, they'll do everything for me. However, you got to do it. So that's the best thing to do though. When you first start, get with some of these companies and go ahead and fill out all that. When you in your spare time, fill out all that information online. You can go to TQL website. All these companies mainly got a website. Go to their website. Go ahead and fill out the carrier package and stuff. Have all that already situated. So therefore, when they pull up your MC, oh, you already set up with us. Okay, bang. Now all they do is send you the rate confirmation, and you just have to sign that. So you keep your laptop with you. If you go over the road, keep your laptop with you because you have a lot of information on that laptop, and your ELD is a hotspot. If you are the administrator, if you own the company, you run it, you over the log, your keep trucking ELD, your log is a hotspot, so you can still get Wi-Fi while you're sitting in your truck trying to book a load. You got to know your lanes though. It's a lot of places you can go. It's hard, like I said, Florida. It's hard getting loads out of Florida, especially down in Miami. It's hard getting loads out of there. Mostly what I've seen in Florida is if you go down there, they're mainly going to send you somewhere else in Florida. Like if I'm going to Miami, I'm trying to come back up 95, up to Georgia, South Carolina somewhere. But they're sending me to Tampa or Panama City, way totally opposite direction. So you got to know your lanes. You got to know where you can really find loads out of to get you out of there. Some places you can't get out of. You might have to deadhead somewhere to get up out of there. So, but all in all, I don't want to go too long on this. I'm just trying to throw this together, put this together to help other people because other people help me, The people, I said in my first video, I looked at those videos, Box Truck Couple, Big Vic, people like that. They help me. They help me a lot, with their information. So I'm just trying to help somebody else, You got to know your numbers though. You got to know exactly how much it costs for you to run your business. But all in all, how I feel about over the road is great if, like I said, if you know your numbers, if you know how to run it. So that's going to conclude this video. If you like it, click subscribe. My next two videos, I'm going to cover how I feel about Amazon Relay and how I feel about the mothership. Okay, so all in all, that's it. I hope you guys stay safe out there. And remember, and I'm going to say this too, whether you believe in him or not, Jesus still loves you.